players are at 7-0. And looks like we're in game 2 where Reid Duke is up a game.
You see Reid is playing Jund mid-range. He's playing the more controlling strategy, where Irvine is playing a Wolf Run Bant deck. Irvine, a player that a lot of people probably aren't terribly familiar with. I know you and I are.
Yeah.
Because he used to be on the Pro Tour for a little while,
yep.
and then stepped away from the game to do the whole get a real job thing or what have you. But yeah, a Miami player who was, a couple years ago very, very good at Magic, consistently going to every single Pro Tour. And again, he has stepped away from the game. Comes back when we're in the area. I saw him at the start of the games in Orlando. It's been the first time in a couple of years. But he is playing against one of the top players in the game right now at 7-0 in Reid Duke.
Yeah, and Dave's playing a Wolf Run Bant deck similar to the one Melissa DeTora made top 8 with at Pro Tour Montreal.
Mm-hmm.
Very interesting deck. It plays all the kind of Bant cards, but it has a lot more creatures, which again I think is where you want to be at if you're going to play a Bant control deck. He also plays a lot of clone effects, so he plays Clone and Progenitor Mimic, which I believe he actually has a copy of in his hand.
He does have Progenitor Mimic in his hand, but what he's staring down right now is a Liliana of the Veil that is on 6 counters, is what he's staring down.
Difficult to beat Liliana when she goes ultimate in certain situations. This looks like it could be one of those situations.
You think this is the tough one? A bit of an uphill climb, maybe?
A little bit of a climb. Yep. But yeah, there's the big dice to represent the 6 there.
Yeah.
So let's see. Dave can cast Progenitor Mimic to copy a Huntmaster of the Fells, get a token into play, buy himself some time. But again, that Liliana is threatening to go ultimate next turn. Dave doesn't have a Wrath effect. Doesn't look like he has many options here.
You can see the struggle, and he's going to assemble the Legion, and it looks like he's going to pass the turn back. So you can see, he's trying to craft a game plan around Liliana, making him sacrifice a lot of things, and how Reid is going to use his Liliana is going to be interesting, because again, Reid doesn't have to ultimate this turn.
No.
He can kick it up to 7 and then ultimate the next turn, or keep just pushing it up. He has all the options.
I think Dave would be fine with that, though, just because if Liliana's down to 1, he'd still be able to deal with it eventually with Assemble the Legion.
Mm-hmm.
So Assemble the Legion, definitely a card that can help Dave get back into it. He's at 23 life. Reid has only a Huntmaster of the Fells and a Wolf token in play, and Dave also has a Centaur Healer in his hand, so he can follow up the Liliana Ultimate with the Centaur Healer in play, which can block the Wolf token and gain him 3 life.
Yeah.
So not the worst shape, but the fact that Reid also has a Bonfire in his hand, and he's still going to be drawing an extra card to turn off Underworld Connections. It'll be interesting to see whether or not Dave can actually mount some sort of offense here.
So Duke starts his turn by drawing a card. Liliana Ultimate is the place to be. So now it's time to separate.
Yeah, so...
yeah, and Irvine says, do your thing, man.
Yeah, it certainly can be 2 lands and Assemble the Legion.
I think it can be 2. And that's what it is going to be.
Wow, I'm surprised he's giving him 5 lands, because I think even 2 land Assemble the Legion, Dave has to go for 4 land here. But maybe not. We'll see. Certainly can't keep 1 land Assemble the Legion.
No, I don't think you can keep that either. I don't think Assemble the Legion is going to be able to beat Huntmaster of the Fells and its Wolf token. Especially with the idea that Huntmaster is going to flip.
Wow. So
wow.
Dave's going big here.
Wow.
I like where Dave's at. He's going big. Assemble the Legion.
Oh boy, I did not expect to see that. And Reid plays another Liliana and discards the Liliana. Holy jeepers, I did not expect to see that.
That's called a bold maneuver.
That is exactly what that is.
You know what? The thing is, Reid doesn't play Acidic Slime anymore, and Dave probably knows this. There's not that many ways that a Jund deck can beat and Assemble the Legion. I don't think Reid's that worried because he has the Bonfire of the Damned in his hand, but it's not the craziest thing I've ever seen. The only problem is that Huntmaster of the Fells can flip now, and it's going to gain trample.
Yeah.
So if your plan was to just block it, it's not a very good plan.
Yeah, I am genuinely surprised. Now the question becomes, as Huntmaster flips in a Ravager, it's going to shoot a token and shoot Irvine for 2, is can Assemble the Legion chase down Reid, drawing 2 cards a turn? Plus him having a Liliana and a relevant strike force in the form of Ravager of the Fells and the Wolf token. Is it going to be fast enough?
I think Reid also has a Thragtusk. There's just too many cards that are good against this Dave's line that he took.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that keeping the 5 lands and just casting a Progenitor Mimic on a Huntmaster of the Fells might have been a reasonable play there, because basically maybe you give yourself some outs. Obviously, Reid had the Bonfire Dam, so it wouldn't have mattered, but you're not really giving yourself that many options with this line. You're basically hoping Reid has nothing else in his hand, which is unlikely.
And doesn't draw anything else when he's drawing 2 cards a turn. As Irvine does draw a 3rd land in the form of Sun Petal Grove, is going to cast a Centaur Healer and gain 3 life to be pushed up to 14. But this is a very, very risky line of play here from Irvine.
Yeah, because now Reid can cast Bonfire for 2 if he chooses.
Yeah, that'll...
or just cast it for 4 or 5.
Yeah, with a hearty grin on his face, he's going to cast this. And that is going to get the hand. Reid Duke wins this match over Dave Irvine 2-0. Jund Midrange is moving on to 8-0 as well over Wolf Run Bant. And 2 players, 2 big names are having one hell of a tournament so far in Brad Nelson and Reid Duke.